Guys, welcome back to another episode here at Heartletics.com with your host, Coach Joe. In today's episode, we're going to be talking all about the protein. So, the last few episodes, I've been killing you guys with the mindset, right? The mental push, the mental motivation. And that is obviously the goal here at Heartletics, right? Is to give you guys the tools to succeed mentally, but also let's give you guys the practical advice as well, right? The guidance, the knowledge as to why we're doing what we're doing. And this is all about what we focus on at Heartletics when it comes to our coaching clients. And that's really helping somebody, right? Giving them all the tools to succeed on their health and fitness journey. Once again, not just mentally, but physically as well in all areas, right? Helping somebody level up the four pillars of success: physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. So today, let's talk all about protein, okay? I love talking about protein first and foremost, just because at the end of the day, it's probably the easiest fix to getting somebody to start burning more body fat. So let's just go on this conversation right now. We'll talk all about protein. I'll throw in some certain things that I feel like is important for you guys to know. And all I ask in return is that if you guys got any value at all from today's episode, just go ahead and share this maybe on your social media or share this with a friend to better aid them in their fat loss journey. Okay. So protein. Okay. Why is it so important? Well, for starters, right, let's look at the basic profile of what protein is and what it does. And I hate, right, and this is just me, okay? Like when I got certified in all my certifications, honestly, but with nutrition as well, I hate big boy words, okay? Is that like any of you guys as well? And if it is, leave a comment down below and let me know. I hate big boy terminology. I feel like it's a way to just scare people, right? Into, man, this is really, really complicated, right? And so with me, right, in my past with school, having a horrible time with reading comprehension, text anxiety, everything like that, I was never book smart, okay? So I always had to find a way to learn something, but water it down. So what I teach you guys in this episode is going to be very watered down. This is because it works for the clients that we coach. If it's very easy to understand, right, our coaching program, KISS, Keep It Simple Stupid, which means if it's very easy to understand, guess what? It's sustainable. You're going to be able to retain that information. If something's way too confusing for you, it's going to be very harder, right? And it's a lot likely to fall off the wagon, okay? Because it's way too complicated. It's that analysis by paralysis, way too much complication, way too much thinking process. And at the end, it's just not sustainable, okay? So hear me out. You're going to hear me say some like little kid words. You're going to hear me say probably some things that make you scratch in your head. You're probably like, what does that even mean? But it's how you apply it. It's how you process the knowledge, right? So I'm just going to share with you what works for our clients, and hopefully if it works for you also, and it can better aid you into losing 20, 30, 40, maybe even 50 pounds of fat in the next 90 days, awesome, cool. That's my job as a coach. So protein, why it's important, right? It's their building block to building muscle, okay? It also has so many other health benefits to it. Different functions within the body, so many different things, right? But once again, I don't want you to confuse that. I don't want you to say, oh, there's so many different things, here's why I should be doing it. If you're listening to this, odds are you're trying to better yourself into burning body fat, right? I think that's why we're all here. I'm a fat loss coach, okay? And so understand this, that if you want to have more protein in your diet, it's going to aid you into burning more body fat. Why? Well, odds are you have some muscle underneath your body fat, right? Everybody does. Your body needs muscle. But when you're eating a good amount of that protein, it's going to be starting to convert all that body fat into muscle tissue on your body, as long as you're also utilizing your body for resistance training. That could be working out at home. They could be working out in the gym. They could be utilizing some equipment at home like dumbbells, maybe some kettlebells, something like that, right? But when you're mixing the two, it's like the best of both worlds, because now you're able to build the muscle, but also burn the body fat. You're converting the body fat into that lean muscle tissue. Now, the reason why that's going on and that process is happening in your body is mainly because of the thermic effect of food. Now, hear me out, because I don't want this to be complicated. When it comes to burning calories, right, there's so much that goes into play. There's your BMI, right? Or I like to say just your RMR, right? Your resting metabolic rate. So basically, like if you're just going to sit around all day in bed and not move a muscle, guess what? Look at it as like the factory still has its lights on, but there's no employees, but the machines are still going, right? The electricity is still running. You're still burning calories, okay? Even if you're just sitting around in bed all day, you're still burning calories. Then there's your activity, right? Like you're working out. Then there's your NEAT, your non-exercise activity thermogenesis. But then there's also what's called TEF, thermic effective food. So this food that you eat, right? If you ever look on the back of a nutrition support, label, whatever, there's going to be your calories at the top and then all these other things, right? Like your proteins, your carbs, your fats, etc., all these different grams. And long story short, right? All that information adds up to the calories, okay? And when it comes to thermic effective food, when you eat fats, carbs, protein, okay, your body needs energy to break it down. Now, when it comes to breaking down fats, your body only needs about 2 to 3% energy, maybe anywhere from 3 to 5% energy to break down carbs. But now here's the thing. When it comes to having more protein in your diet, your body actually requires a whole like 22 to 25% more energy just to break down that protein. So now it's like the best of both worlds. Because now it's like, hey, you're doing a little bit of training here, but at the same time, every single day, you're burning calories by focusing on eating the right amount of foods, by having more protein, okay? Because your body, right, the protein, the amino acid blend that's inside of a protein molecule, it's hard to digest. So your body has to work a little bit harder to break it through the system. Now, you're probably wondering to yourself, like, okay, Joe, but I heard protein is bad to take because it's horrible for your kidneys. I always like to say this, right? Don't take a random study with 5 different people that had a horrible experience that were bad for their kidneys and compare that to everybody and their mother, okay? This is your life. It ain't my life. This is your life, which means some things that work great for your life aren't going to work best for others and vice versa. Some things that work great for other people might not work the best for you. When it comes down to protein, what I'm going to tell you is what works best for myself as well as what works best for my clients, and take it or leave it with a grain of salt, right? Have at least 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight. So if you're 200 pounds, have at least 200 grams of protein. If you can have more, do it, right? You don't need to go obsessive with it. You don't need to go anything more than, let's say, 2 grams, right, of protein per pound of body weight. You don't need to do anything that crazy. I'm not trying to have 400 grams of protein a day. That's way too much, right? Your body doesn't need that much. Have a good sweet spot. The bare minimum we always like to say is like 0.8 grams of protein per pound of body weight, all the way up to like 1.5. That's somewhere in that range, but we always say 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight is ideally really good, okay? Odds are you're not having enough protein in your diet right now. So what is some good ways to get in these protein sources? Because you're probably still wondering yourself, like, okay, I'm going to listen to Joe. For the next 90 days, I'm going to have at least 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight. I'm going to listen to this Coach Joe guy with Heartletics. We're going to see what happens. We're going to put him to the test. And if it works out great, I might sign up for his coaching program because he probably has a lot of other tips and tricks and secrets that I don't know about. So when it comes down to getting that protein in, there's so many different sources. The world is your oyster, okay? You have different fishes. You have egg whites. You have lean meats. And that could be anything like different lean cuts of steak, chicken, right? Turkey, anything, bison, right? Protein powder, which is my best friend, okay? Hands down. There's so many different things. And like when it gets down to getting creative with it, so you're not just eating just chicken breast and protein and, broccoli all day. Like, no, get creative with it, right? This is why like the flexibility and the knowledge of knowing how to properly eat for your body type and goals is so valuable, because like you have protein cookies, protein coffee, protein tea. Arlen, he's one of our newest clients on the app. He mentioned about not really liking the way that Greek yogurt tastes. So what he did was he put a scoop of protein powder inside of his Greek yogurt, added some granola on top of that, and it's a great snack for him. Works out great, low calories, high protein. You have the flexibility, okay? Don't let anybody tell you, hey, you can only eat X amount of foods, right? These 5 bland foods right here. No, this is your life, right? Have the flexibility, have the knowledge. You have Coach Joe at Heartletics.com's permission, right? To eat whatever you want to eat. That's what it boils down to, is having the healthy relationship with food and the healthy mindset when it comes down to food and nutrition. Food is your friend. Food equals fuel. In order to get a car from point A to point B, it needs gas. Okay? Your body, to get from 35% body fat down to 15% body fat and seeing some abs, having more confidence, having more energy, it needs fuel. Stop thinking this calories in versus calories out is going to be the best thing for you. That's not the case at all. Okay? Now back to protein. Okay? You're probably wondering, you're probably thinking like, well, Joe, you mentioned a lot about meats, and I'm just not a meat guy. You know, I'm a vegetarian. I'm vegan. I don't eat a lot of meats. What is something else that I can have? Protein powder is probably going to be your best friend. Protein bars, protein powders. We coach a lot of people that are vegetarians, or they have dietary restrictions, or vegans, and it's hard, right? We always say this: it's hard. You're going to need to depend heavily on a good quality plant-based protein powder, okay? Simply because it's very difficult to get in the recommended protein and stay within somebody's calorie range, right? If they're not having meats. Just because meats, like lean meat sources, are very low in calorie, high in protein. Well, for any plant-based high protein options, you got to think there's going to be carbs, there's going to be fats in it. So it means that the calories are going to be a little bit higher. So having protein bars, having protein powders, that's plant-based options, is probably going to be one of the greatest tools for you. And we always tell this to everybody, whether they're vegan, vegetarian, or carnivore, right? The best and easiest way to get in adequate protein in, and especially if you're not used to it, okay, is the 2x2x2 method, right? 3 twos, right? There's 2 right here, 2 right here, 2 right here, 3 twos. Very simple. And what it means is simply that every day you're going to have at least 2 protein shakes a day. So that's the first 2 protein shakes a day. Here's the second 2. Every time that you make a protein shake, don't put in just 1 scoop of protein powder, put in 2 scoops of protein powder. And when it comes to having a protein powder, once again, the world is your oyster. There's regular whey powders, there's plant-based powders, there is isolate powders, which I preferably like because I'm lactose intolerant. So an isolate protein is, just think about it like whey concentrate protein powder. An isolate is just filtered another step through. It's just getting more of that adequate lean protein, right, powder at its finest. Okay, that's what isolate is. And it has very low carbs, very low fats. So it doesn't hurt my stomach at all. For being somebody that's, once again, lactose intolerant, right, just trying to stay away from dairy products, an isolate protein helps me out tremendously. Okay. When it comes to shopping for a protein powder, one, go off of one that tastes good. There's so many protein powders out there that taste horrible. Some fan favorites that I like is salted caramel from My Protein. Great company. They have amazing protein bars, amazing protein powders. They also have Clear Whey, which is literally like lemonade, cherry, watermelon, like blueberry, all these different flavors. And you just put in your water, and it's an easy 20 grams of protein, 90 calories right there. And it actually tastes really, really good. So hot summer day, those work out best. So My Protein, salted caramel, I put that in my oatmeal. I put that when I make protein tea, protein coffee, my protein shakes, and also protein cookies. I love that flavor, okay? Then, right, First Form, which sponsors myself and sponsors the Heartletics, they have a really good root beer float flavor. Like, hands down, if you like root beer float, it is the best thing in the world. It tastes so freaking good. Other than that, there's some other ones. Like, I know Walmart has a bunch, okay? But you want to be careful. Like the Gold Standard Whey that you see all about there. There's also like Body Fortress, right? You see all these ones that have a very low price, but a lot of preservatives, a lot of fillers when it comes to that protein powder, which guess what? There's a lot of anti-nutrients. Your body can't even break it down. So it's going to be not effective for you to have those products. I know for a fact Walmart does carry Diamondize. It's an ISO 100. Diamondize is isolate protein. They have a Fruity Pebbles flavor that is really, really good. If you're making protein cereal, throw some of that in there. It's great. So you heard me talk about some of these simple things, right? Protein bars, protein shakes, protein tea, protein coffee, protein cereal, protein cookies, right? Like those are the things that we're looking to make adjustments for when it comes to helping somebody with their nutrition goals, okay? So it doesn't need to be all left field, right? Completely forget about everything that you're eating now and go completely cold turkey. Like, no, you just make some tweaks. This is what makes sustainable changes happen in somebody's life, okay? So back to the 2x2x2 method. The first two protein shakes a day. The second two, just put in 2 scoops instead of 1 of that protein powder. Protein powder, it's literally the easiest thing to consume. You know, it's not like it's going to make you feel fuller so much, right? It's not like you're having a whole nother chicken breast or a whole nother steak. It's very easy, right? And that's, once again, you want to make things that are easy for you and your lifestyle. And then the last two is just 2 protein bars a day. You know, most protein powders are typically going to be anywhere from like 100 to 150 calories per 1 scoop, anywhere from 20 to 25 grams of protein. Awesome. Stick within that profile. When it comes to having a protein bar, I like a bunch. Built bars, barbell bars, Quest bars are okay, but I'm getting over the taste. There's these protein Pop-Tarts that I've been taking from pastries. Those are great. But anyways, when it comes to having a protein bar, just like protein powder, have something that tastes good. Have something that you enjoy having. Have something that's roughly around 200 calories and roughly around 200 grams of protein, right? Excuse me, 20 grams of protein. 200 calories, 20 grams of protein is not even in existence. So have something that's roughly around 200 calories, 20 grams of protein. Okay, the 2x2x2 method. And that right there could be that small little shift to you just listening to this podcast and taking that and a grain of salt and just trying it out for the next 90 days. That's it. 2x2x2 method, right? 2 protein shakes a day, 2 scoops of protein powder, have 2 protein bars a day. You're typically having around 150, 160 grams of protein just by doing that. I bet you anything that's a lot more protein than what you're eating right now. And then I bet you anything, if you just start incorporating maybe some of the egg whites, Greek yogurt, the lean meats that we mentioned about, the fishes, your world is going to change dramatically, you know, because now you're starting to give your body more nutrients of what it actually needs. Remember, food equals fuel. So eating more food, eating the right amount of foods, obviously having at least 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight. This is going to aid you into not just helping speed back up your metabolism so that way you can start burning fat more effectively, but while we're here, burning body fat, putting on that lean muscle tissue. When you start doing that, you're going to notice so many changes. Okay, now here's the thing. I want to warn you. These changes are going to come with your shirt off, not with just looking down at the scale. Because if you're eating more food, you're doing more resistance training, odds are, right, your body's going to be going through this weird, awkward phase in the first few weeks. It's called a body recomposition, where you're going to be noticing that your body's burning body fat, but also putting on muscle because of all the protein that you're eating, because of the resistance training, which is a good thing to help speed up your metabolism. It's all part of the process. But you're going to see the biggest changes coming with how you look and how you feel. And that, my friend, is the true prize. That is what we always coach our guys to help and understand, that it has nothing to do with the number on the scale. It has everything to do with how you look and how you feel. So guys, I really hope you guys got some value from today's episode. This was all about protein. You know, at the end of the day, whether you're plant-based, whether you're carnivore, it doesn't matter at all. Try your best to have at least 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight. And if you can, like I said, start applying some of these, tips and tricks like the 2x2x2 method to better aid you into getting more protein in, just in case you haven't been doing that already. Other than that, I really hope that you guys got some value from today's episode. If you did, once again, give this video a like, share it, on social media as well with a friend and family member. And hopefully, who knows, it's going to help start inspiring other people, start making some easy changes happen in their life. And if you guys want more tips and tricks on how to burn body fat effectively, how to become the best version of yourself, not just physically, but mentally as well. Go visit heartletics.com. We have so many different free resources for you guys. It's not even funny. With that being said, I really hope you guys got some value from today's episode, and I'll talk to you guys in the next one. This has been Coach Joe with Heartletics.com, and as always, peace out, Girl Scout.